Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Resilience with your host, me, Wintertooth100. And in today's episode, we are going to, first we're going to complete all the parts that we know that have been built in the past, and I know what they look like. And yeah, so instead of talking about them and referencing them, they can actually just be built and we can see them. And yeah, we're gonna start off with that. And I'm gonna build them off camera. At this point, I believe it's only 2 sections that aren't done. The circly bit, this bit, and yeah, actually I think that's it. I think it's just these 2 bits that are... No, hold on. There's one more big thing. One more big thing. And that is, at the very top, on top of this roof part, there's a flat landing and a tower. And it's a very thin tower, it's just really tall to give it a really magical feel. So it's just those 3 things. So let me go ahead and pop off camera real quick. I'm gonna install them, and then we are going to pick up where we left off in the last episode, where we're going to figure out what we're going to do with this courtyard and these buildings and all that fun stuff. So give me one moment and we'll see some new stuff out here. Well, apart from us starting to get a little shy on resources, I'm gonna have to grow some dark oak trees and cut those down. But I brought saplings with me, so we don't actually have to take off to do that. But we did add in this circular dome thing. It's hard to explain, and that's why I didn't explain it very well before. But it is in a circle. It is dome shaped. It even has a special floor to it. And it is accessible, technically. There will be a better way to get in here later. But as for now, like if we need to come in here and do something or add something, there is a little manhole here that we can fit in through. But if we continue around to the side, my dimensions were off for this. See, it's kind of hard to tell, but it's a little thing that just pokes out from the original big bit, and I told you it covers up that second window. Oh, perfect, it's snowing. I do like the snow in this area. But I originally had it this big. You can see how wide it was, and they were 3 block gaps, and really the front is 2 block gaps, and then the sides are 3 block gaps, which squeezes it in. And it also wasn't 3 sections, it was 2 sections, so it literally just like shrunk down into this space. And then we have this little area, and if we so chose, which we probably will definitely for sure utilize. That's a creeper haven. I think it's like right through this one. This is the center. Okay. We can actually get in here and explore this area. There is a bunch of mobs spawning now, so we're just gonna continue. And it's pretty simple. I told you I just replicated this tower at 1 here, 1 there, and 1 there. It's probably getting a little framey on YouTube with all this snow. So, there is still the top section that I need to do. I just need to get some resources together to do it. Mostly the dark oak. And I will be back when that is done, because it's actually quite simple. It's just tall and tedious. That is it. Just tall and tedious. So I'll be back in a moment with this awesome tower built right in this space. As it turns out, I actually forgot to bring a specific block with me. I need about 2.5 stacks of it. And there we go. You can see this little gap right in here. If you pay attention real quick instead of looking at the whole thing. There's supposed to be blocks in these gaps here. And I failed to bring them or the dyes to make them, but we'll take a quick look at it. If we can get in the air, here we go. I'm gonna take a real quick look at it, but we're gonna have to go over to the desert and steal a cactus because we need the green dye for a cyan. I believe cyan is made from lapis and the cactus green. But this is the tower, and I said this in the last episode that it's definitely the tallest tower, but it's not the tallest actual like structured tower. Oh, I missed. That hurt. There we go. It is officially the tallest structure in this biome though, which is pretty sweet. It officially has eclipsed the trees, which I think cap at around Y200, and if you sit on the very tippy top of the little end rod way up on top, that's 210 blocks. Or it's at Y210, not 210 blocks. But yeah, it's coming along real nice. Getting to the top was kind of a pain. It was constant flying of up and down, up and down. In fact, I had to grab another couple stacks of rockets from all the materials because I had to keep going up and down. Kept forgetting all the blocks that I needed to bring with me. So let me fly to the desert. There should be a desert. In fact, it's not even should. There definitely is a desert because I built this map right over this way. I'm just going to pop down, grab one of the cactus, and we'll bring it back and we'll do a small cactus farm. In fact, we don't even have to do a cactus farm. We don't need cactus green for very much. I'm just going to go down there and I'm going to punch several of these cacti that you can't reach from the map. So we'll be standing in a place that's technically off the map. Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh yeah, look how magnificent that is when that comes into view. That is glorious. Alright, we're going to pop down. We're going to finish making these cyan clay blocks. And we're going to pop them in real quick. And yeah, I'll just see you up there. We'll put them in together. Okay, so while we're working on this, I actually have something that I kind of want to talk about just a little bit. I'm sure a lot of you who watch my videos have noticed that I am what I would call a low energy YouTuber. I don't scream in my videos. I'm not super hyped or whatever about any particular thing. My voice kind of gets monotone sometimes. But I'm not unwilling to explore the possibility of trying to be more energetic if that's something you guys would be more interested in. The reason why I'm not super energetic is because I feel like half the time those guys, in order to keep up that kind of energy, they tend to ramble and get off track and aren't saying anything in particular just to keep their high energy spiel going, because you know when you take a moment and pause and think about what you're going to say next, it can be a little unentertaining for videos, but the flip side of that is you know, you're consistent and concise and you're not just saying things to say things for the sake of keeping a high energy persona. But I don't know, tell me what you guys think. Let me know down in the comments if that's something you guys would like to see more. Is a little bit more energy? Because I know that I tend to get into these spiels where I just kind of ramble about the particular thing that I happen to be talking about, but I do it in a slower, more drawn out kind of way. That's kind of how my personality has always been. I've always been the kind to think before I speak, or at least I do my best to make sure I do as much thinking before speaking. Oh no, I didn't make enough. Let's see, I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need 9 more because there's one up top. Dang, this is gonna be so hard to get back into, and I didn't bring any extra blocks with me. Bummer. Yeah, okay. Let's take a look at it though real quick. That way we can get a feel for what that looks like with the cyan in it. And see, that's why we went with the cyan. Technically that's a blue color, but it's so gray it fits perfect here. I just love it for this particular build. Now, let me know what you guys think about this castle. Is it a little too much? Is there too much detail in it? I know not a lot of people like the hyper detail builds, and I guess this kind of can fall under that category. It does have an incredible amount of detail to it. So I guess I'm just mostly fishing to see what you guys are most interested in watching. That kind, you know, what kind of content you're interested in. You know, as far as my personality goes, my speaking patterns, my energy levels, and tell me what you think about this particular build. I'm real curious what you guys think about how much detail's in it. Is it too much? Should we back up and try to go more simplistic? And if you can think back to Honor Guard Castle, which is where our home base is, that's what I would say is on the less detailed side, because technically it is really flat. We just use different blocks in the palette to make it feel like it has depth. So yep, let me know down in the comments below. I'm gonna craft up the other 9 cyans and plug them in. Alright, so I spent some time in a creative world, and I think we're going to be making the floors of Snow Temple out of snow. I mean, it's the obvious thing, right? I was strongly considering more cyan terracotta, in which case we'd be going to a mesa right now to collect a bunch of terracotta, so I don't have to find a bunch of clay and smelt it up, because that's not fun. But I think ultimately the fact that the terracotta doesn't have stairs and the snow comes with snow layers, it won by several miles. The ability to put in snow for the floor, then add snow layers, and then on top of that we can grab like stone bricks and crack stone bricks, because obviously the water and the snow and the frozenness of it's gonna break some of these bricks apart. We can do the cracked stone bricks, and so we can sporadically put some of these bricks in the floor, so it looks like there's an actual like stone floor that just happens to be covered in a ridiculous amount of snow. And I think that's what we're gonna go with, but I don't have any pumpkins to make a snow farm, and I'm not gonna destroy the terrain. That's a part of why we're here. We are not, the only terrain we're meant to destroy is the terrain that we're going to be using to get out of the way or to put in place for the builds themselves, and no other reason. There's no reason that we should go anywhere. And like the cactus is like, who's gonna notice the cactus is missing, right? So like those sorts of things, like it's very corner case situations where we're gonna be pulling from the environment around us to get the materials that we need. But because it is a custom map that I built in a special world, I know for a fact that there are no pumpkin patches that can grow there because it's disabled. So we have to come back here and we have to find our box that has pumpkins in it. Ooh, that's not good. Dang, we're gonna have to go all the way out to our actual pumpkin melon farm, aren't we? That's fine. Because we have the ability to fly now and rockets, we can actually just pop on over and we can just fly across. It makes it super quick. So let me see if I can successfully... There we go, there's actually a ledge here, good. Didn't think we had a way to get off this. So if we just fly this way, it's like right here. And look at that, we're already at the portal for the where the pumpkins are. So that was super quick. I love these wings. And now we're just going to grab a few pumpkins and we'll head back over there. We're gonna set up a little, just a snow golem farm, and I'll probably spend some time AFK working on it, just to get a bunch of snow in the wings. I'm not sure how we're going to see, that's probably way more than enough pumpkins, but I want to have some spares just in case some get killed. Ooh, that's plenty of spares. But let's do a little overkill, shall we? Let's see how many pumpkins I have left over here. Oh yeah, there we go. Overkill. Let's just overkill a little bit. Once we have some snow in the floors, I'm a little skeptical about how we're gonna do multiple floors. If we do snow in them or not, we'll see. We'll just get over there and set up this little farm, spend a little bit of time AFKing, and we'll get it all set up. And we just shredded through that shovel. Oh yeah, snow farm is working pretty great. It's quite a simple design. It's just a couple of minecart hoppers underneath some full blocks with some actual hoppers underneath them going into chests. I mean, that's like the greatest way to do it. Got a couple slabs down here just to help the snowballs from escaping. If you're too close to it though, standing next to it, you will start picking up the snowballs. So we're gonna take all of these guys, we're gonna craft them into blocks. These are the ones I got from terraforming. So these didn't actually come from this farm, but all the snowballs did. So we're going to craft them into blocks. Then we're going to come through here and we're going to replace every single floor block with snow blocks, with the exception of these door bits right here. While we're on the topic of things that I may want to work on and improve for you guys, how do you guys feel about this adventure map stuff going so far? Is there anything specific you guys would like to see, or for me to focus on more than I don't know, something else that we have been, I've been doing, I focus a lot on the building part of it. So for example, maybe you guys want to see more of specifically like the puzzle bits of it. Tell me what you guys would be more interested to see. Is there anything I'm not thinking of perhaps? Because that's definitely a possibility too. In fact, that's probably a certainty. Anything specific you guys would wish I would focus on a little more, spend a little more time talking about, or possibly my process of certain things, or something that I'm not currently doing that you think I should be doing or could be doing, or something that I am doing that you think I could be doing better. Mostly just in a curious mode to, kind of figure out what my niche is. I have my own opinion of what I think my niche is, but it's always good to, have the conversation with the people who are actually watching your videos, because in my mind, I might think, one thing, and you guys are probably thinking another thing, and so I want to make sure that, we're all on the same page as far as what we're trying to accomplish on this channel, and what we're trying to build, and the end goal for all of this stuff. There's another slightly more specific thing I'd like to ask you guys about, and that is, would you like me to build these temples in the order that they're supposed to be done in? Because if we did build them in order, there's a couple of things that I would have to do before we start building those temples, for story-wise, because the main reason to build them in order would be, this is a multiplayer server, and if I build them in order, then as we complete these projects, we can start doing something like a dungeon master kind of thing, where we are in spectator mode, and we can kind of dry run the other members of the Resilient server through temples as they're done. So, for example, let's pretend Snow Temple here is the first temple, and as soon as it's done, we would have Joe Mama, who's a member on the server. He would then be able to come over to the map and work his way through all the puzzle stuff. Yes, I did. And he would essentially get to tackle the entire first temple before the rest of this build is actually done. And then we could do the same thing for the other members of the server, for anyone who would like to do that, and kind of do a one temple at a time basis. And then when the next temple's done, they'd be able to come in and pick up where they left off. So that is an idea of something that we could do, something that I've thought about doing. But let me know what you guys think about that. Would you like to see these temples done one at a time in the correct order that they would be tackled in, and then have a few episodes where we get to be in spectator mode and kind of watch the other members solve these temples? Let me know down in the comments below. There's a lot of stuff to put in the comments down below, so be sure to do that. I'm going to fill in the rest of this floor, and then we're going to take a last look at this place. Alright guys, I know I throw a lot of questions and information at you, but I think that's going to be it for today's episode. So you're finally off the hook. You don't have to listen to me spiel about this stuff for too much longer today. Just a quick little wrap up bit. In the next episode, I'm hoping to get down to that area and kind of start working out some of these. I think once these 3-4-ish buildings get put in, it's really going to bring this together. It'll be really interesting because none of that has been invented yet. It's going to be all totally fresh from my mind. But we have been building a lot in this style, so hopefully that sticks with me, and we can keep it in the exact same vein as all the rest of the stuff. But then we can start doing the walls, and then once the walls are done, then we can go to the front over here, and this is where it's going to get really interesting. You know, Zelda maps there's 2 puzzles per temple, sometimes a little more, sometimes less, but typically it's the puzzle you have to complete before you can actually even get into the temple. So once we have a lot of this done over here, just a little sneak peek for you guys. Imagine a big hedge maze filled with puzzles and traps and all of that other fun stuff. Oh man, that's gonna be fun. It's also gonna be a really cool view for if we incorporate this or any of the windows from any of these, and they get to have this awesome view and look down on the maze itself. But that's gonna be it for today's episode, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you like, subscribe if you haven't, share with your friends, hit that notification bell, and I will see you guys in the next one.